Welcome back to Ultimate S&S. It is Sunday morning and it is beautiful outside. Sun is shining. We had a good rain last night. The birds are singing out everywhere, not just the chickens, not just the quail, but a lot of songbirds have come into the area. And I'm pretty sure what is causing that is us keeping different types of flock out here with the quail, with the chickens, and then increasing the types of foods that we're growing as well. So here's what my advice to you is. We're coming into June. If you are on the East Coast, if you have not prepared for hurricane season, you need to get started. Here's what I would recommend. You need to make sure that you got lights, that you have batteries for those lights. If you're having rechargeable stations, I would make sure that all of my recharge packs are charged up. They even sell these little solar chargers that you can get. Make sure those are ready to go as well. Be paying attention to what is happening in the weather around you. If you need to evacuate, then leave. If you cannot evacuate and you have to hunker in, make sure that you are in a safe place, safe part of the house, or find somewhere that you can go, a friend's house or something like that, that will be safe. I will tell you, if you're in a mobile home, chances are, if it is a high category storm, it's going to destroy your home. It will at least harm it. So need to be thinking about some areas to bug out to, even if it's just, staying with a friend during a hurricane or something like that. And what can you do to better prepare? Well, I think finances is the number one thing for most of us, everyone. When it comes down to it, do we have the extra $200-300 to be able to go and just make sure that you're ready for hurricanes every year? Well, if you keep your stockpile up and you're already a prepper and you're looking into self-sufficiency, you're going to find that money quite a bit easier. And the reason for that is, if you're not having to go out and buy as much stuff, as much food to put back, that frees up a little bit of money. So definitely need to make sure that you start in your gardens. If you're on the East Coast, get those gardens started the best way that you can. It's going to be my recommendation. So we went out, we took a little stroll out through the garden, and we're going to put that out here for you on the end, but we're going to talk about a little bit what we've gotten so far. So we have more zucchini. This stuff is coming off everywhere. I'm harvesting it smaller now. That's still pretty big zucchini, but I'm not letting it get as large in diameter. And the reason for that is it just had a lot of seeds and it starts to lose flavor. The seeds don't really bother you. You saute it up, the seeds are soft, not going to hurt you, but it doesn't have that flavor that the smaller ones do. So I'm going to say that's probably about the best size to pick at. So then, of course, we have cucumbers growing out there, man, and these things, it's growing well, very prolific, producing quite a bit. But when you got people who eat cucumbers like, candy, you need to add a few more plants. So I'm looking at adding some of the larger smooth skin cucumbers out there as well. Not on that same fence line. That's going to be after the corn has come in and stuff like that. We're going to do a little revamping out there, but it's going to look great. Then we are now getting our okra. So right now the okra is not growing like a whole lot. The plants are still kind of small, but we are getting quite a bit of okra out there. And for now, until I get enough okra to, bother chopping and frying up, what I do with that is I just put that in a freezer bag. I just take and clean it up. You can blanch it if you want to, which is where you take hot boiling water and you drop it down in there and pull it back out. Most people blanch before they freeze. I would recommend doing that. But if you don't want to, it's probably not a necessary step. It just helps you later. So then, of course, this seems to be my biggest producer right now, which is squash. So here's what we got. Lots and lots of squash. Love it. So that's looking really good out there. This with the green and yellow, that is just yellow straight neck squash that has been pollinated with a zucchini plant. It doesn't really change it too much. Maybe just a slight bit on the texture of it. Maybe just a little bit tougher than normal squash and just a little bit more flavor. So it's not a negative outlook. Now that might turn somebody away from it thinking, well, that's part green, part yellow. Understand there's nothing wrong with that thing. It is ready to eat. So we're going to go out. We're going to check out the garden area and just kind of look around a little bit. So we prepare for more than just two little, issues that could happen, as far as like, oh, well, what do we do for inflation or whatever? I try to cover, because we live down here in Florida, we get hurricanes and stuff like that. You try to cover as much as you can in as short time as you can. And what happens every year, if a major storm does not come in, you want to make sure that those stocks are replenished meaning make sure nothing is out of date, make sure your water is good to go, make sure that food supply is good to go. If you have a SHTF type situation and stuff, it's good to be prepping for that, but you need to have a hurricane preparedness kit, which could be just a box filled up with everything that you need. So when you open that box or Tupperware or tote or whatever you decide to use, your family has instant access to everything that needs to be in there, whether it's flashlights and cell phones or extra phone batteries that are charged, or maybe those little solar chargers and stuff like that. So many different ways that you can prepare, and you need to make sure that you have that in there. I would even make sure that I had some kind of just one of them old wind up radios where you wind them up to give them some power so you can listen to the weather station and stuff like that as well. Because like when Hurricane Michael hit down here, we had no communication with anybody for quite a while. So I would recommend, that's even with cell phones, the service towers and stuff that were down. So you need to make sure that you have ways to communicate. Uh, Make sure that your families and stuff know that you're safe. If you have a storm coming in, you can tell them if you are staying. If you were leaving, then you need to let them know that you're leaving the area. That way, when rescuers and stuff come around, if you've not heard from them for a while, you can say they were supposed to leave the area or they were planning on staying on the area, and give the address, and then they can come out and check on them. That would be my recommendation to you guys. But whether you're living on the coast or not, a lot of people have families out here. So I hope everyone's having a beautiful Sunday. My advice to you: stockpile your supplies. Get food now. Buy as much food as you can. Stockpile medical supplies, you name it, whatever you're going to need. First aid kits and things like that. Maybe it's entertainment type stuff. But there is a lot of stuff that we can be doing to prepare, guys. So I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. I'm going to get off here, and I got so much stuff to do back here with the chickens, getting them ready. They are looking great. We now have all of our chickens laying, which is fantastic, guys. So we'll talk to everyone later.
Hey, hit that subscribe button. It's right there. Did they hit the subscribe button?